So
the
anyway,
bear went away.
Yeah,
He
just kind of he didn't like run away. He just kind of trotted.
Oh, have you ever seen The Revenant?
I haven't. I really want to.
You gotta watch the bear scene.
Yeah,
it's pretty much like my fear of what I think a bear attack actually is like.
Yeah, I would love to see that movie. I really like that actor, whatever his name is.
DiCaprio?
Yeah, I think he's in a lot of movies that I really like.
Yeah, he's good.
I forgot they do this.
It used to be a thing not to like him, but I think he's universally known as like a good actor now.
Yeah, he's in a lot of really good movies, but oh man, come on. So what was interesting though is later that evening, we were all kind of, we woke up after that. Lucas was trying to get out with his camera because he said he knew it was a bear as soon as I said whoa.
Yeah.
And he'd been wanting to see a bear.
What time was this?
Oh, I don't know.
In the evening
10,
or in the morning?
11, something like that.
In the morning?
You want to play? Ice level?
No, I'll watch you play.
Okay. Yeah, something like that. And what was interesting is
Wait, what did we say? At the night or the morning?
There's that weird boomerang thing I was talking about. It only shows up on this level and beyond, but I don't like it. Actually, I'm gonna get it just for fun.
Come on. Let the viewers at home see it.
The TriStar.
Your bear. Your bear.
Yeah. So anyway, later on that night, though, what was really interesting to me is that we were all awake after that, and even other people in the camp were awake because they heard the story and like, oh man, there's a bear here. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes over, and he's wearing camo, and he's a pretty fit guy. He's he's like young and fit.
Did he ask?
And he has
a
bear? Shotgun, and he's got, and it has shells down the side, like in Goldeneye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks.
Jurassic Park had that too. It's a Spas. Or I mean, I don't know what the gun was, but yeah, what they're called? What's that called? It's called
I don't know.
Side saddle.
I don't know, but it looked really serious, and he was like, "Hey, I heard you guys saw a bear here," and I was like, "Yeah, it was over there." And I was like, "You gonna kill it?" He's like, "Oh no, these are non-lethal rounds. These are just to scare them off."
Oh yeah,
that keeps them afraid of people, which is interesting. But it's also funny that dude who looked so tough, and he was just like the nicest guy, and he was, he probably cared a lot about bear conservation.
Yeah, that voice was.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, but
kind of like a Ryan Reynolds voice.
But yeah, I don't know. Getting eaten by a bear,
pretty bad, right?
I don't know.
On the list of like things that would give you a bad day, that would be pretty high on mine.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't. Oh, there we go.
What are your fears? Are your fears like more like existential stuff, like you're not gonna like your job or stuff like that? Or well, like, no, mine are like, mine's death related, essentially. If you haven't noticed.
Mine's being impaled. No.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I even really have fear. I'm looking for like phobias, though. When I really asked that question, I should ask, do you have any phobias?
Do I have any spiders?
Oh, are you really?
Arachnophobia. I know what gave me arachnophobia, too.
You had an experience to get, was it the movie?
All right, so the movie plays a very large part in why I have arachnophobia.
Okay.
But there's another thing, is that when I was a child, I have a brother, he's about 6 years older than me. So when I was a child, he used to say that what was in croissant rolls, crescent rolls?
Wait, is it croissants or crescent rolls?
I say croissant.
Well, they're two different things.
Wait, the same thing.
Oh, maybe not. I thought they were two different.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean,
one's
like better, I would say, like flakier skin. But no, it's like the same, croissant. Okay. Do you say croissant or crescent? Crescent.
Okay, I feel like there's crescent rolls and then there's croissants.
No, man, same thing.
Is it true? Maybe. I don't know. I never really thought about that. I always thought they were two different things. So.
I've never not thought about that. It's just always the truth of my life. is what that is. Yeah, so anyway, so whenever I'd have like a croissant, my brother, it's croissant, right? Am I saying it weird?
I think that's like the French pronunciation.
I'm like croissant.
But, most people just say croissant.
A little Pepe Le Pew when I say it. So croissant.
It's fine.
My brother used to say that the insides were actually spider webs. And it would really freak me out because I loved them so much. I was sort of eating through thinking that they were spider webs. And, I mean, it didn't really fuck me up into adulthood, but
What?
It kind of aided in this fear of being afraid of spiders.
He made you think that... Oh, I guess I could see that, because it's all kind of like...
The inside's kind of like...
Yeah. Alright, that's enough of that crazy weapon.
Yeah.
Man, that's...
So spiders, fear of heights.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about your fear of heights.
Yeah.
It's just weird, because we hike all the time. There's always some kind of crazy height.
Man, not all the time.
I don't know.
I didn't think Colorado had anything crazy.
Are you kidding? That mountain that we were next to? The flat top mountain?
But it was like... It wasn't sheer going down it. Or going up it either.
Where the heck is the... I know there's a thing here. Oh, okay. There it is. Yeah, when we got to the... Don't you remember Flat Top Mountain and you look over the edge? It was very sheer.
Yeah, I remember that, but that wasn't... That was like a vista you could look off if it wasn't like the actual path itself.
I see what you mean. Like, you weren't forced... yeah, like Olympic. I felt really bad. I very much contributed to your Olympic turnaround.
Oh, that... Man, Olympic. That was like... I think that was like the scaredest I've ever been.
Yeah.
What the hell was that all about?
Oh,
I asked myself, would I do it again?
Story from your perspective. What?
Oh man, it was so bad. So I remember going up it and thinking, hey, this isn't so bad. So I was kind of in
a trail on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, so I was kind of in like a good mindset. I was in like what we will call a good spot. Okay. I was pretty happy about the trail. It was beautiful. But then it got like kind of gravelly in the way of like, okay, well, there's a drop, but it's not sheer. But if you were to sort of slip on the gravel, you might be able to fall down to your death because you'd be sliding on the gravel all the way down. There's no way to get traction. Once you start the sliding process, you're dead. Okay, so I started getting that in my mind. I'm like, okay, that's kind of freaky. So I'm thinking about that. And then as we go, it gets kind of sheer. Now, mind you, I'm walking with someone else. Was it Javier?
It was me.
It was you? No, I think it was Javier, too.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Someone was in my point of view, incessantly commenting on how slippery the rocks were.
That's totally
and these, like, what they would have thought pretty little streams going down the slippery rocks. So as they're making these comments about like how slippery the rocks are, which is scaring the shit out of me, then I start going like, okay, fuck this. So I bolt forward, and I just like sort of, I wasn't trail running it, but I was like really going at a decent clip as fast as I could around that mountain top, because I guess it was like around a mountain, right? You weren't really going to the top of a mountain. I think
we eventually got kind of to the top,
but did we pass
at that point
we
were
by
just
then?
No, that was kind of the end. It was
it?
like, yeah, it was kind of like a mountaintop.
Oh man, I remember not catching up with you guys.
No, you never saw that part. I mean, you never got to the mountaintop because you turned around.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Glacier.
Oh, I wasn't there for Glacier.
Oh, and that's why. Okay, so we're talking about two different stories. Okay, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was talking about Glacier. There's another point in Glacier where, yeah, I think it was me, Lucas, Javier, and Kurt. And yeah, there's this another like sort of, you're wrapping yourself around the mountain, but it's like sheer on the side of it.
Oh.
It's a cliff. And that was a moment that scared the crap out of me, which I basically just like bolted forward and just ran it as fast as I could, just to like get off of it, because there was no turning back. No, you're referring to, what was it? Olympic?
Olympic, yeah.
Olympic, where that was like nothing.
Oh, I did.
It was just like a really gravelly, what would you call it? Like footpath?
So what I remember is that we had, you know, it wasn't all that crazy until we got to this one, you know, it's just like going around the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
But on the, you know, on your right was a cliff, but it was wooded, so I felt like it wasn't that bad. I mean, if you fell, I don't know, you might break a leg or something. It wouldn't be, like, you wouldn't die, though, you know?
I don't remember
I don't
woods.
even think you'd really make, I remember trees and stuff. You don't remember that?
I like all the way at the bottom.
I don't know, maybe you're right. But I just remember thinking it wasn't that bad. Like, he'd probably be fine. But then we got to this one part where there was clearly a landslide. And then, and so it was kind of like a break in the normal trail.
Yeah.
And then it made kind of a U shape in the side of the mountain.
Yes, that's the part I bolted on.
Yes. And,
Yeah.
oh, man. I gotta avoid that one wolf. And there, I remember I stopped and I looked, and I wasn't actually really that worried about it, but because I wasn't worried about it, I was very casually talking about how crazy it looked. I was like, oh man, that's...
You know, travelers, this fall could really kill you.
Yeah, like if you fell right there, you would die.
Yes.
And I kept saying that kind of thing, and like... And then your eyes just got wider and wider and wider as I was talking about this.
Could you see the tears welling up?
I don't know. And then all of a sudden you were gone. You were like, you bolted. And I thought you were just kind of joking maybe.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what's Jeremy going? And it, you know, because with all these hikes, you sacrifice days of planning and preparation and all this stuff, usually to see one sort of amazing vista. So I thought, surely he isn't going to miss out on the end of this hike. But no, you never came back. You were just gone.
Yeah,
and
we call that noping your way out of a situation.
You were just gone.
I said nope.
Yeah.
And when I made up my mind, I was back in that tent by the time you guys took 10 steps.
That was so crazy to me. And I don't...
Yeah, I mean, I look back on that stuff and I definitely regret it.
Oh, you regret that?
I mean, I regret that it happened. Yeah, totally. I mean, like, I wish I could have experienced that day with you because it seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. It was a moraine.
Yeah, so that's like a de-iced glacier.
You know, I actually can't quite remember what a moraine is. I just remember it's called a moraine because I was like sidling past Lucas and I bumped him and he like kind of almost fell down the cliff. Yeah. And he's like, Flanders, this is a moraine. So I always remember it's called.
So
a
you
moraine.
weren't using moraine.
Oh my god, I did it again.
Chad, you weren't using moraine etiquette according to
No.
Blue Scout.
I don't know. It's twice I was a jerk on that trip. I did feel really bad after I. Oh, I'm surprised I made that. Yeah, I did feel really bad the fact that I made you bail on that, but
was it you who made me?
it was definitely me who was talking up the danger of that, and I kept going on and on about it. And I think even at some point, Lucas, or maybe I think it was Lucas, was like, you know, Flanders, you might want to, you know. Yeah, I think Jeremy's getting scared or something like that, and that's when I think the damage was done at that point. I did kind of stop at that point, but I think the damage was done.
Yeah, because I saw pictures from that. It looked really nice.
Yeah, the moraine was awesome.
Wasn't there like something where there was like a ladder you had to walk down to get to the bottom of the...
Oh,
so moraine has like a lake at the bottom or something, doesn't it? Or no?
Man, I just don't really remember what exactly moraine is, but really that just felt like a cliffside with a glacier at the bottom. But I know what you're talking about. There was some like technical hiking parts.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should have jumped. I didn't think it had the range. I'm focusing on the hiking stories and not playing as good, but I'm also just not that great at this. But yeah, that trip was pretty good. But I don't know. I mean, you saw a lot of other good stuff.
So you be down for like another hiking trip?
Yeah.
Or are you not that up for them anymore?
I would go. Sure. Where are we gonna go? Grand Canyon. We always talk about almost going to the Grand Canyon hiking it.
We talk about what?
We every year we talk about maybe we'll go to the Grand Canyon this year and hike it.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think I would like the Grand Canyon for a few reasons.
Too hot. Too much
Yeah,
water.
that's a big thing. The whole, like, if you don't have enough water, it really is like a dire situation. You really need to have a lot of water going there.
So where do you want to go? The moon.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you guys did what seemed like an awesome trip for Yosemite. The Yosemite seems like a cool place.
I would go back to Yosemite. I think we all kind of agreed that we would go back to Yosemite.
but I can't really think of anything else.
All right, I'm not gonna make the same mistake. I made it like 3 times in a row.
What's that?
Jumping across this before I kill that dog. Whew, okay. All right, now I can figure out where this chest is. It's up there? How do you get that? Ooh. Oof.
So, like, I think about hiking places in Canada, but Canada's scary because it's got grizzlies.
Yeah.
God, think of the grizzlies. The grizzly situation all over again.
Yeah, even I'm not too enthused about hiking grizzly territory.
Although Canada, I think Canada's probably the most beautiful. That part in Canada that we've been to is probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Beautiful place I've ever seen. Besides for Switzerland. I've seen Switzerland. Switzerland's really nice. But Canada's, there's just this like untouched beauty that is really hard to find here in America, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, man. That's
Even
so
though
much
the
easier
national
with
parks
gold
seem
armor.
like they're on the touristy train.